Hello everybody, this is your host, Mick, and today we have the Zoom G2X4, but given this is Overdrive October, we are only going to go over a singular effect, and this multi-effects pedal being the Gold Drive, which is their take on the very famed Klon Centaur horsey pedal. Well, not the horsey pedal is another one, but just a Klon Centaur. It's a horse. It's gold, and it's also got arms. Anyways, the reason I got this one is because I wanted to be completely fair on everything I do in terms of this giant review, of course. So I wanted a couple digital examples because there is no analog that I know of within here. So to start off, though, I am going to instantly deduct points because I went and threw up blood as soon as I got this out. So this pedal may be cursed. Just saying. It's not my fault. It's obviously the pedals and nothing to do with any of my habits. So just take that into account for the end review of this. And I will do a full review of this pedal, but given it's Overdrive October, we're just doing the Gold Drive. So let's start and just go with Let's go with basics. I do have tape on these because it is shiny enough to the point where people will see me and get distracted by the sheer perfection that I am, and we need to actually be able to focus on the pedal in the review instead of being distracted by me. So, starting off, just turning off the Gold Drive so this is off. This is what the original pad sounded like. Which is one would expect, obviously, because it is a Centaur as clone. It gave it a lot of gain. The synth I'm using is the Korg Micro Korg version 2 that has been featured in other videos. And the whole point of it is it has a lot of effects on it, and it's currently running in mono mode. Which one thing I can say I do like about this pedal, especially if you're using it with mono stance or guitar or anything like that, it goes from mono but then feeds out in stereo. That is very nice of a feature. I like pedals that can convert mono to stereo, as it does intensively help with mixing, mastering, even though it takes up more outputs, which you can do in the mono still. The fact that you're able to get stereo out of it really widens your sound and gives you a lot more workability for whatever you want to do with your final performance product or whatever. So if anything, even if I'm not using any of the effects, I can still just use this as a straight mono to stereo, and that's good. Just a little side thought there. But turning the effect on, because we're going from you see that it does go up a lot more. So one thing that is pretty neat about it is that this has actually 4 presets instead of 3, which you can see you get gain, bass, treble, and volume. And with bass, sadly, it's not bass, so we can't go fishing. I'm still waiting for my perfect fishing pedal so I can really enjoy making music. And if we go back to that, we can use the controller that you would get on the Dreamcast if you bought the special edition of Sega Bass Fishing. And that really cool controller off of the Dreamcast would have been perfect so you can fish while making music. Just a side thought for any product developers who want to pay my royalty fee of $2.8 million and then do that. Thank you. But let's just go and get everything down like we always do and start going through the knobs. Which I gotta say, these are like very tactile, very nice feeling here. And like for me, I don't particularly use much of Zoom. I can appreciate their prices because their prices are really not bad whatsoever. I appreciate their mixers, as they're one of the only mixers that does multi-track recording. But the only thing that does annoy me, and this annoys me about all mixers, because I discussed this in my perfect mixer video, is when it's all the microphone, like the XLR/TRS inputs where it has the XLR now, so you still shove the TRS in the middle of it. Whenever it has that, and especially with phantom power, they will do like in clusters of 4, which I get it. Not many people are just like purely synth players and all that, but I don't want 4 phantom powers at once. Like I would just use like, this is like for me when I'm actually performing and all that and I'm doing vocals, I like to use one dynamic microphone and one condenser microphone, both of them running different effects on each, because that's the whole experimental type deal where I do a lot of stuff with modulating my voice too. But there is I only need one thing on 48 volt phantom power. Having it on both gets really annoying really fast, because then that knocks out the other 3. Especially like if I have a little assortment of microphones. I do have a ribbon mic, so obviously I cannot let that touch phantom power. Just speaking my thoughts on that, and then just a little bit of a side tangent for mixers and all that. So that's just one thing to speak about. But let's go and actually do the rest of the review, because I just want to give Zoom some praise though as a company, as I do with a lot of companies when talking about them. So we got just nothing besides the volume, so we'll just start with the gain. So I think that gave a decent demonstration because I'm also watching the waveforms on the spectrogram as I am recording this, so I'm able to see even the slightest changes in it. And even with the bass, this is more of like a lead heavy style of pad. Let's actually go and get a bass here. So this is going to be a standard style reese bass that everyone hears in a lot of music, especially in the history. So let's go and just get the treble all the way down, get the bass down, and this is normal. There's like a normal reese bass that everyone hears, and then this is, so we got just the gain, but let's go and let's keep the gain there and let's start bringing up the bass. Now, if you have like good monitors or anything like that, that's because what's fun, and even vibrate my monitor headphones here. I'm not going to lower that in post just so people can experience how fattened it gets if you have like really good monitors or anything like that, because I think that's pretty funny. So anyways, let's go and pick another patch here, and then we'll go ahead and have some fun, give it some more playtime, and let's just go for a straight 60 on everything, just so I get a nice middle of the road tone whenever I go to the next thing I'm using. Let's see, let's do, I think I put my leads over here. Okay, so we're going to go with an organ. I personally think, like, this is one thing. Like, I know the I've said before that Klon style pedals are, or just the effect itself is that it's reached such an overtly insane status, which I think most people can agree with me that paying $5,000 for a used pedal is kind of, yeah, it's reached the status way beyond anything of what Bill Finnegan could have ever considered. But it is a good effect. That's why I'm doing all the clones and all that to try and find my favorite out of all of them. And plus, with that, it lets me explore a lot of different companies out there. So I personally enjoy this series, even though it is costing me a lot of money. But just for a good, clean overdrive, even though this one's purely digital, it does very good in my opinion. I'm not picking up any noise from it, unlike some of the cheaper analog ones out there. And it is, yeah, I can't really fault it. It's very nice for a digital. The rest of the system, like I said, I'll give a full review on because this is Overdrive October. We're just doing their digital modeler of a Klon pedal, which out of them, I know Boss makes one in the OD200, so that is coming in the future. I might even do a software plugin to go over, just to be I guess beyond fair and go through literally every single clone I can find. But as it stands right now, I'm trying to think. I don't believe I think Source Audio might have a digital one modeled in one of their app-based pedals. But besides that, and I know like Helix and their like super boxes like these. Like I think the HX Stomp has one of those as the effect. Same with what's that one called? The Neural DSP quad core, which a lot of people put that as like that's the pinnacle of amp modelers and effects in a pedal format, or more of a desktop because it is a bit of a chunky boy like that. But even as it stands, it's not anything. It's a lot to spend just to find different digital modelers out there compared to just getting a singular analog pedal. But then again, at the end of the day, if I go ahead and bite the bullet on that, which is like, I think it's $1,700, I'll have a really nice amp modeler out of it too. That might be one of them I don't do just to buy to get one effect, unless I can get one to loan for a review for just a couple days. Because, yeah, that is extensively expensive. Anyways, let's just go over the point system. Like, the construction of this overall, and again, I'll talk about this more, like, all the switches are very tactile. I like how it has the expression pedal with it. These knobs, even though they're plastic, they click with every turn, so it's very nice, and these are very big switches, so obviously it works. Obviously, this wasn't meant to be modeled after a Klon whatsoever in the form factor. It just has a Klon Centaur preset on here. So obviously, like for looks, I don't hate it. It's nice. It's like it's compact, you know. And it's like here just because that's the standard user unit of measurement for pedals is a Boss pedal. So this is what a Boss pedal looks like next to it. So about the foot here is a little bit bigger than a Boss pedal. So we can say that's 1, 2, like that's that 1, 2, 3, about 3.5 Boss pedals wide. So I mean, it's not that bad. And plus, you can chain multiple effects in it, so it will take up some of your board that you wouldn't want to use nearly as much. So it's a good form factor. So I can give it a good for like multi effects, because I do like all the extra stuff to make navigation so much easier. Obviously, you're going to have to set it up yourself within here, and then like over here for just cycling through. Yeah, it's you might have to toe tap these, but I believe like you can cycle using just these two when you're trying to get to the second page there. And there's nothing too wrong about it. Everything can be foot controlled, but most of the time you would have mostly everything set up anyways, because a lot of times no one's really leaning down and spinning stuff nearly as much. So, I mean, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's very nicely built. It wasn't too expensive. I think I only paid like $240 for this, and it's solid pedal for a multi-effect unit, and I do like it. For the sound itself, I mean, for digital modelers, like, yeah, it's very nice. This is a very good digital modeling of a transparent overdrive. So I really like this. I like the addition of the bass knob, as like we've seen on other things, such as the which other ones had. Like, I know the Pony Boy had a bass knob on it, and I believe the like just a couple other of them, you were able to modulate the bass on there too. So that's a good addition to it. And the one thing I do like about this, with how tactile it is, I like how I can like vary like this. It's literally going by 1%. That's very nice. It's a lot like, I know that's just purely a digital thing where you can see what you're doing instead of just guessing where the knob is. So it's a lot slower, obviously, for me to set it, but I do like that it does that. That's a very, what's that called? It's a user-friendly UI. I can appreciate that. So for the effect itself, because of the addition, 4.5 out of 5. So, but then will be nice because it will consider the price too, and just give it a 4.78 out of 5. And again, this isn't for the whole thing. It's just for this. This is very nice altogether. I will do a full review on the whole thing later once we are out of Overdrive October. But very nice. I enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to enjoy doing my full review of this once we are completely done with everything else, because it is a very nice multi-effects pedal. I can appreciate that. Good job. Anyways, this has been your host, Nick. Go ahead and leave a comment if you think I have missed anything in terms of Klon Centaur clones, especially if you believe there is more digital modelers than the ones I already mentioned, as that is more murky to find, as a lot of them are hiding within multi-effects pedals like this. But like, for example, I'm not going to buy the Nux multi-effects pedal because I have the Nux actual just direct, the Horseman, the actual direct Centaur clone. So I'm not going to double up on that. But like, Zoom doesn't make, to my knowledge, just a pure Centaur clone. You would have to have gotten the multi-effects. Or just leave a comment in general of what you thought about this digital clone itself. Or just say hi, hello, how you doing? Go ahead and like the video, as it does help me grow the channel, and hopefully it will rid me of whatever curse I'm under right now. And go ahead and subscribe, as it also helps grow the channel. And if you have anyone that you know that appreciates clones and Klon Centaurs and wants to see how crazy this series is going, because at the time of filming, I am at 43 pedals now. If you want to just calculate out releasing 2 a week, this series is going to go into January of next year. Awesome. Like I said, it's still ridiculous with how much I am spending on this, and I still have not reached the price point of a used Klon Centaur in good condition. That is just terrible. It's the only thing I can say to that. Honestly, that is silly. But I appreciate everyone's viewership, so share this around and go ahead and subscribe to help me get closer to 1,000, because once I hit 1,000, there'll be something else special coming out. But I look forward to reading the comments as I try to respond to everybody on them, because I'm trying to see what other people's thoughts on these, because like, I'm just one person with just my experiences, but I'd like to see other people's experiences within the musical space. So, as again, this has been your host, Vic. Thanks for watching. Bye.